Well, welcome to the show, everybody. Man, it's it's one of those days where I'm just in the stool all day. That's how it's going to work out. Welcome to the show. So this is happening. And this just to catch you up, Trump will be arriving any minute now, apparently. And Mike Lindell just walked up. Now, as he walked up, he almost fell off the stage. I kid you not. Now, I don't know if I'll be able to play any of this footage because there is music playing in the background and that will get me copyright struck and I guess RSBN just does not care, I suppose. I mean, technically speaking, this isn't monetized, but I don't want to get knocked off the air anyways. It's bad enough that I named this show with his, put his name in it. And she's, just to catch you up, she's been complaining that it's freezing because she's been standing out here kind of jibber jabbering all day. And this dude got to go in Trump's tent and hang out with him. And so he's been in a warm tent for the last little bit. And she's very jealous because he got to hang out with Donald Trump. And they both, and he's been in a warm tent. Also, he interviewed Trump. Now, let me see. I'm going to rush ahead. Okay, they're still Mike Lindelling. Oh God, hold on. Oh, I've got to turn this thing up over here. I had to turn it off temporarily because of the music. Good Lord. So let's see. You'll see what I mean in a second.
And you see, people are looking for hope. Look at, this crowd has been cold. It was rainy this morning.
Do you ever get the feeling that I should rush this ahead because we don't want to dangle and they're starting to play Lee Greenwood, I can tell. But do you ever get the feeling that Mike Lindell always sounds like he just ran up a flight of stairs to stop the police from serving a warrant to his wife? And like, don't, I just got here. You don't have permission to enter the premises. It's that. Okay, by the way, no tie, wearing a hat. It's windy and it's cold. He's wearing gloves. And the girl who was hosting RSBN earlier, who was complaining about being cold, was talking about how snazzy he is, I guess, in his outfit. His outfit of the day, she said, was very snazzy, meaning that, I don't know why, it's the same friggin' suit he wears every time, with just an overcoat, and now he's jerking off the crowd ahead of time. Great. He's going to, Grandpa thinks the lecture's already over, the rally's over, so, hello, clap, 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 clappity clap, clap a squirt, clap. Hold on, let me move this guy down for you so you guys can fit in this business. There he is. Squirt, squirt, squirt. Are they playing? Yeah, yep. He can't really give air hand jobs to Lee Greenwood. I mean, you wanna, don't get me wrong. But I don't mind a good long coat. I don't mind a good duster now and again. When you're wearing a suit, keeps the jacket from getting wrinkled a little bit. That's okay. I lean more towards the Richie Sambora, long leather, but that's a personal thing. Hi. Up here in my hat. Hey, you. How are you? And then he's going to wander around because he forgot all about the thing. Let's see. Do we have any blacks for Trumps here? Nope. It's South Carolina. They couldn't jockey for position, or it's too cold to wear the t-shirts. So they're all bundled up. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's my thinking. What good is it, right? Trump rally in South Carolina. All right. And that's the little logo, which looks like, I know that some of the people are like, hey, wait a minute. Is he in the UAE? What is this? They are passing out Save America signs because it is a fundraiser. Yes, he is there to supposedly promote who he's picking for some sort of South Carolina seat. But he's really there to raise money for his super PAC because that's what's up everywhere. That's not, Republicans. It's not, a party gathering. It's not, whoever the candidate. I don't know who the candidate is. Do you? Is the music stopped? No, I turned the music off. Oh, there you go.
Nobody told me it was so cold in South Carolina. I always think of warm, beautiful sun. but this is going to keep us awake.
Well, something's gotta.
This keeps us awake. I want to thank everybody for being here. It's incredible. I heard you went through rainstorms and everything else, and you're freezing your asses off, and this crowd.
He said ass.
It's unbelievable. Thank you. Thank you. You know, I just wish the fake news would take those cameras. Look at all of them.
Turn them around.
Just show the crowd.
Show the crowd, right?
They never do it. They never
Dude, it's RSBN. They always show it.
do it. They don't like to do it. This is really amazing. It's great to be back in this beautiful state. I love this state. We had a big victory.
I love this state. That's why I had no idea it gets cold here, and how I, didn't realize that it's anything but sunny, because I only come here when it's nice, because I don't give a shit about the state. It's about my own comfort.
And we actually had an honest vote count. Isn't that nice? We had an honest vote count with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. That's what you are. 8 months from now, the people of South Carolina are going to vote to fire the radical Democrats. You're going to elect an incredible slate of true America First Republicans. You're going to re-elect your governor, Henry McMaster.
Little slurry, a little drunk right out of the gate, folks. I'm not going to lie.
And together we're going to end Nancy Pelosi's political career once and for all. For the past year, we've watched in horror as everything Joe Biden touches turns into a calamity and a total disaster.
Yeah, especially unemployment.
It's one train wreck after another. He abolished our
Actually, there was money for trains in the rescue package and in the infrastructure bill.
Border. Have you ever seen anything like it? Millions and millions of people, many of them from jails from other countries, are being dumped into our country. He invited them in. He invited them in. He does nothing about it. He invited them in.
He's straight up Foster Brooks tonight. Holy shit. If this is how he's starting, do you think he gets more articulate as the hour goes on? Fucking yikes.
Massive inflation. There were more COVID deaths in 2021 than all of 2020.
Yeah, that's because it was a whole year. Never mind.
And hospitalization shattered every record, even while Biden imposed illegal mandates all over the place. He ordered the Department of Justice to spy on patriotic parents. He crippled American energy. He disgraced our nation with his humiliating surrender in Afghanistan. There's never been a lower point in the history of our country.
Yeah. Kennedy assassination. Civil War, Dust Bowl, forget it.
There's never been a lower point in the history of our country.
Well, for you. I mean, you used to be president. Now you're in a parking lot.
Dead soldiers left our people behind. $85 billion worth of equipment left behind. Who would even believe a thing like that could happen?
I don't believe it, because it didn't, but that's okay.
And we went 18 months, not one American soldier was killed. I told Abdul, the head of the Taliban, Abdul, don't do it. Don't even think about doing it. 18 months we went. I told it much tougher than that, but I don't want to drive people crazy. I don't want to drive the fake news crazy. But we...
Yeah, no, dude, go ahead. Drive us crazy.
Said it in a strong tone, and we went 18...
Yeah, he said it in a strong tone, which would totally drive people crazy.
Let's think of it. 18 months, not one soldier killed. And when you just thought it couldn't get worse, any worse than that, I think that was, frankly, the lowest point in the history of our country, in my opinion. Joe Biden...
No, it absolutely fucking well wasn't.
...failed to deter Russia's outrageous invasion of Ukraine. You could take the 5 worst presidents in American history and put them together, and they would not have done the damage Joe Biden has done in just 13 months.
Well, in all fairness, he did walk in on a complete clusterfuck. So, you know what I mean? He was just bumping into bad shit everywhere he stepped. It's not really...
We have a president representing our country at the most important time in history.
Is it really? Is it really 1776? That's the most important. All right.
Physically and mentally challenged. The Russian invasion of Ukraine is a terrible atrocity.
Yes, he's physically and mentally challenged. A terrible atrocity.
Should never have been allowed to happen. It would have never happened.
Huh?
I know I speak for everyone here tonight when I say we are praying for the proud people of Ukraine. They are going through hell. They are fighters, and God bless them all. Make no mistake, however, that Russia would not have dared to annex 1 inch of territory if I was in the White House. In fact, they never did it when I was there. A lot of people ask the question, how come they never did it when
There was constant fighting. Get fucked.
Trump was president? And China, he said they knew better. Yeah, it is true. Yeah, so what a nice crowd. Look at that crowd up there.
Look at that birdie.
Beautiful.
It's a squirrel.
In fact, I stand as the only president of the 21st century on whose watch Russia did not invade another country, and neither
Well, they did take 3 of our bases in Syria, but please.
did anyone else. They knew. Under our administration, we had peace through strength. That's what it was. Our country
Nobody invades a party that someone else is helping you jimmy the window on.
was safe and the world was calm because America was strong and they respected your leadership. And America was always a place that I put it before everybody else. It was always America first. Very simple. It's very simple.
Very simple. It's in the teleprompter, very simple, but it's a little difficult to read.
It was all about
It's all about
America first. It was also about make America great again, but it was about America first because that's how you make it great. We rebuilt the U.S. military with $2.5 trillion
Yeah.
Magoo.
that was spent, the largest number ever spent. We had fighter jets that were 40 years old. We had old equipment, broken equipment. Everything is brand new, beautiful, and I hate to do it, and I hate to tell you, but our nuclear weapons, I rebuilt them, and we have
I hate to tell you, that's why I've mentioned it in every interview.
new, and I hate to even mention it because the last thing we ever want to use is nuclear weapons, but nobody has what we've built. And our president always says, but Russia is a nuclear power, but so are we. He never says that.
Yes, mutual assured destruction, fucko. Good Lord.
He never says that. And
Well, no, it's people know. Is that supposed to be news? Like Lincoln was a Republican?
never want to use it, but the way you don't use it is by letting everyone know that we have it bigger and better, stronger than they do.
Yes. Tell us how you told Stormy Daniels that.
We obliterated the senior ranks of Al-Qaeda. We
The senior ranks.
decimated ISIS. We got rid of ISIS.
Yeah. I mean, it was an ISIS suicide bomber that killed our troops in Afghanistan.
100%.
100%. Well, 99.999%, because that ISIS suicide bomber, he obviously squeaked through.
We killed al-Baghdadi, the head of ISIS,
And then they got a new head of ISIS.
and we terminated Qasem Soleimani. He was responsible for all of those bombs that go off on the road and destroy our people and other people and blow everybody to pieces, losing their legs and losing their arms and losing everything they have.
Well, obviously, if you've lost everything you have, then arm and leg is the least of your worries. Fucking hell.
Responsible for that. We stood up to China and Iran like never before. China paid us hundreds of billions of dollars of taxes and tariffs while I was
And yet all of our factories stayed there until Biden got here. Weird.
president. Before I was president, they never paid us 10 cents. And Iran was ready to make a deal.
We had a trade deficit because Walmart gets all their shit from there. What the fuck kind of shirts do you think we're sewing in New York that they're selling in China? Seriously.
They were done. They had Nothing. They were ready to make a deal. If the election weren't rigged, we would have had a deal within 2 weeks of the election.
Yeah, 2 weeks, right after the health care plan and his taxes and his plan to get out of Afghanistan is this close.
We made clear that we made clear, and we had to make it clear, that any adversary who threatened our people did so at their own peril. And interesting.
As opposed to someone else's peril.
We built such a strong military. We had such great people, You know, we have great generals. When I knocked out ISIS and other things that we did, remember we took the shot when President Obama said, don't ever go across the red line. When they went across the red line, nothing happened. But when I got in, something happened. 59 missiles shot right down.
Yes, 2 empty buildings and an unused runway. P.S. Russia has our bases there now.
In Syria. And the Russians were right next door in their barracks. They sort of started running pretty fast. 59.
Oh, did they?
So you remember that? And I was having dinner with President Xi of China. And I said, President, I'd like to tell you something. What is it? What is it?
Yeah, this is great. When he does the little plays, it's good. I'm shocked that she didn't call him sir. I said, President! He said, what is it? What is it? I'd say that too if you yelled in my fucking ear like that.
And through his interpreter, he didn't speak English. I didn't think he spoke English at all. This is a story I think I've never told a big crowd like this, but I didn't think he spoke English because he wouldn't even say hello. We had a very good relationship until COVID, and then I said, forget it, COVID. That was...
Yeah, that's got to be the last straw. I mean, he was obviously honest about everything up until that point.
But we did. We respected each other.
Oh, yeah.
We respected...
He respected each other until the pandemic.
Each other. But I said, President, we were eating chocolate cake at Mar-a-Lago. Most beautiful chocolate cake.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you have told this story.
And they were very close in some form to Syria. I said, President, it's late at night. I want to let you know something.
President, later tonight, there's brandy in this cake.
Tell you, not that you go back to your beautiful room and say, he never even told me that. We just shot 59 missiles into Syria. And he said, without his interpreter, repeat. I said, he just said repeat. I didn't think he spoke English. These are very smart people we're dealing with, you know?
Yes. What?
We have somebody that's not at the top of his game, never was, actually. And these people are at the top of their game.
Yes, that's why they yell, repeat!
But he said, repeat. I said, you got to be kidding. So he knew everything we were saying. So don't talk behind their back. Under my leadership, America...
Okay, thanks for the tip. The important safety tip, Egon.
Feared by our enemies, and we were respected by all. The fake news, they are fake. The fake news said You know, when I first started in politics, I have to say that they had a very high approval rating. Now they have an approval rating that's lower than Congress. Isn't that nice? So we got the point across. The fake news...
Still people watching it. It's interesting.
Said my personality would get us into a war. I'm telling you, that guy's going to get us into a war. But actually, my personality is what kept us out of war.
Yes, your personality. They just give them the territory. Why fight it? Just let them take the land. Fuck South Korea. Ugh.
I was the only president in nearly 4 decades who did not get America into any new conflicts. Instead, I brought our troops and our wonderful children back home. I brought
our children? Also, no, you didn't. The troops in Syria went to Saudi Arabia to guard oil and gas refineries.
Back home where they belong. Under Joe Biden, America...
Except the ones you were going to leave at Bagram forever.
Is neither feared nor respected. There has never been a time where our country has been treated the way it is right now. Other countries are lecturing.
Never. I mean, the British never treated us this way. Certainly never the Germans. The Japanese.
us and telling us what to do. And that's why we are seeing chaos and mayhem and bloodshed all over the world. Never been a time like it. Meanwhile, you...
No, never been a time like it. In his defense, maybe the cable box at Mar-a-Lago doesn't have the History Channel.
Have warmongers like this crazy Liz Cheney. She's a nut job. And Adam Kinzinger, you ever see him? He gets on television, he cries all the time. He starts crying, I don't know. Governor, is that an act?
This is the same Chuck story that he tells about Chuck Schumer crying all the time. Or he'll apply this same chunk to a different person who allegedly cries. Also, I usually don't interrupt when they're attacking Republicans. So,
is he serious? He's crying all the time. We call him Crying Adam Kinzinger.
Do they?
And the other neocons who have never found a war that they did not want. And by the way, we got everything we wanted. We didn't have to go to war. They don't mind our soldiers and other people and other soldiers from other countries dying. They don't think about that. In the name of democracy, they destroyed Syria, Libya, Iraq, and Afghanistan. I brought our soldiers back home, leaving a trail of devastation and suffering.
You brought our soldiers back home, leaving a trail of suffering and devastation. I don't know if this sentence, the syntax is a little fucked.
Rarely has the world seen anything like it. And remember that with Ukraine, I sent the javelins that you see are so effective against.
You had to. The Congress sent them. You withheld them.
Tanks. Biden didn't, and in fact, he ended our last order. Probably it'll get there because everyone realized it was the right thing to do. And Obama, remember Obama?
Budgetary timing, bigger order.
Biden, they sent blankets. I sent javelins, and they...
He's a different fucking president. During that time, the president at that time when they sent the blankets was Yanukovych. Paul Manafort's
well, you know what the
buddy.
javelins are? The anti-tank weapons. They knocked the hell out of those tanks. And Ukraine wouldn't be having a chance without them. That was all sent by me, all of it. We sent other military equipment, too. We didn't send our soldiers, but we sent them a lot of equipment. Well, we need to help stop this brutal invasion.
Good Lord.
We also have to clean out the rot of our failed foreign policy establishment. Yeah. It is indeed rotten to the core before these total lunatics lead us down the path of national ruin and World War III. They will do it, too.
Oh, yeah.
We have to continue to drain the swamp. We did a lot of it, but the swamp was deep, deeper than anybody believed.
Yeah, I was going to drain it. I just didn't have time. Oh, shit. Did that go somewhere?
We have is the new...
What happened?
Threat. That's going to be the global warming, and we can't let that ever happen. The nuclear threat. That's the real global warming that nobody ever talks about. The lunatics are...
Yes, nuclear war is the true global warming we have to worry about.
Left, the global radicals. These are global environmental radicals. They never talk about it. To tap into Iranian oil, Biden is betraying Israel by racing to sign a new Iran nuclear deal. Remember, I terminated it because it was so pathetic.
Yeah, but it was stopping them from producing a nuclear weapon.
He gave them billions. I gave them hundreds of billions of dollars for nothing, for a bad deal. It was a path to nuclear weapons. And the new deal that they're negotiating, and you know who's negotiating it? China and Russia is representing us.
No, they aren't.
China and Russia.
Boo,
did you see Kerry
clearly.
the other day on television? Here we are. Everyone's dying for energy. Your prices are going up. Your fuel tanks are costing you 4 or 5 times more in some. They can't get fuel.
Yeah, fuel tanks are expensive. Imagine buying the fuel for it.
And he's saying, no, this is a good time to be promoting windmills. This is a good time to be promoting the green agenda. I tell you what, your great governor isn't promoting it. He's promoting inexpensive gasoline for your cars. Inexpensive gasoline.
Yeah, he's been standing outside gas stations with the best prices in the area and waving cars in.
And he's also an environmentalist, I have to tell you. Henry, we love you, Henry. Henry, I hear you have like no opposition. You better not have. You better not. Any Republican that goes after Henry, I'm going after that Republican, okay? Nobody's so stupid. He's also selling out the brave people of Cuba and Venezuela.
Nobody's so stupid. To go after the governor of South Carolina? Yeah, we're all shaking in our boots. What?
Well, groveling at the feet of the oil-rich and brutal Maduro regime. They're after Maduro, and now all of a sudden they say, listen, forget that. Forget what we've been saying for the last long time. And the gentleman that...
You know, the last long time.
...seated him, forget the last 15 years. We'd like to buy oil. And we'd pay you any price you want. Please, please, please sell us some oil. Please sell us.
Is that what we're doing?
Oil. We don't have any oil. He must think we are the stupidest people on earth, you know. And his oil's no good. It's very heavy. You got to put it through the ringer to get oil out of it. We have the best oil in the world. It's sitting.
Yeah, their oil is all gunked up. It's full of beans and like twigs. It's all stems and seeds.
I call it liquid gold.
There's all these paraquats in it.
And we don't want to take it from us. You know, it's a big advantage we have over China. We have oil, they don't. We have natural gas, they don't. We have coal, they don't. They
have a ridiculous amount of coal. They just flooded all their coal mines. They have to get it from Australia.
The entire world is laughing at the United States. This is to be the most pathetic spectacle that anyone's seen. Nobody's ever seen anything like that.
No, not 9/11, not Pearl Harbor, not the Kennedy assassination, no. We haven't seen anything like this. War of 1812, Vietnam exit, Iranian hostage crisis, Iran-Contra. Nothing.
Elon Musk, who's a guy that I like and respect, friend of mine. He runs an electric car company, is calling for Biden to increase oil and gas production. But Biden won't do it because he does not have the will to stand up to AOC. You know AOC? We call AOC.
Do we call her AOC? I'm sorry, we didn't even agree on who AOC was. AOC? That's the Automobile Organization of Canada, I believe.
I don't think she ever took a course in the environment, and now she's saying, we got 12 years, we're down to 7. I call it AOC plus 3. You ever see her people? Omar, the whole group. AOC plus 3. And the radical left.
God, I gotta say, like, he sounds fucking drunk. It's weird.
In my administration, we had a very different energy policy. America, energy independence, and America, energy dominance. We were dominant. Think of it, a year and a half ago, we were dominant. The good news is, I used to say, 4 years is a long time. Now we're down to 2.5 years. We have a big election coming up in just a matter of months. It's incredible. I approved the Keystone XL and Dakota Access pipelines. I withdrew from the one-sided Paris Accord, which was another rip-off of our country. Don't worry, they're putting them back. I canceled the...
Yes, don't worry, they're putting them back.
So-called Clean Power Plan. Sounds great, except it's a disaster and very expensive for our country. Doesn't do anything. We unlocked the vast...
Well, obviously it hasn't been built, so...
...plans for energy development. We opened ANWR. You know what ANWR is? The biggest site anywhere in the world.
Tell them what ANWR stands for.
Drilling, probably bigger than Saudi Arabia. Ronald Reagan tried to get it approved. He couldn't. Everybody tried to get it approved. I got it done. And in one day.
Well, for the record, Clinton didn't try to get it. He was in for 8 years. Bush didn't try to do it. He was in for 8 years. Obama didn't try to do it for 8 years. It's been a dumb idea for 30 years.
Biden had it wiped out. This is in Alaska. Lisa Murkowski did a horrible job for the people in Alaska. And in fact,
what the fuck was she supposed to do? Throw herself in front of it?
Right now, I feel I'm in Alaska because it's cold as hell out
here. I just don't think it's right when a man shows weakness like that. It's just not macho.
Lisa Murkowski, it's actually not that bad. Lisa Murkowski did a terrible job but we had Anwar approved, probably the biggest drilling site anywhere in the world, energy, jobs, everything great for Alaska and for our country. And they ended it very quickly in one day. In one day it was gone. The United States became, but we'll get it back, okay? We're going to get that back, okay? We're going to get it back. We're going to get it back quickly. The United States became the world's #1 energy superpower. We were doing a job like nobody's ever done before, a net
Yeah, it's amazing when no cars are on the roads.
exporter of energy for the first time in 72 years. You know, the strategic, I don't know if you know, Federal Reserves. Do you know what it's about?
Yeah, the Strategic Federal Reserve. Yes, I know that. Yeah, Jerome Powell operates the filling station in the Strategic Federal Reserve.
Everybody was taken for years, 40, 50 years, they're taken out of they call it the strategic reserves. When we had the energy low,
Is that what they call it?
There's my friend, she's so great. She's been with me right from the beginning. You take your time. Chris, you take your time. That's Bikers for Trump. Does everyone know Chris? Bikers for Trump.
Rascal scooters for Trump.
When Chris is there, you're safe, ma'am, but she's been our supporter for a long time. We love her, and thank you very much. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you for doing something so I could act like I was paying attention to you and cover the fact that I lost my place.
Thank you, Chris. You know, the bikers, I don't know what it is with bikers, but I think I had 100% of their vote. And, you know, pretty much the same for law enforcement, the military, pretty much the same. But
Well, the first time, not the second time.
when I'd go to places in South Carolina and North Carolina,
You are in South Carolina.
and all over the place, I'd say, I feel very safe. We'd have sometimes 2,000, 3,000 bikers and Secret Service and all the law enforcement. They say, sir, I don't know if you're safe here. I say, I'm the safest guy in the world right here. And they'd rev up those Harleys, you know.
Yes, that's how they work. I don't know if you've ever rode a motorcycle in your life, but what you do is you jam your hand on the actual handlebar, and that's what make it go faster. Also makes it go to the left in a very strange way.
The girlfriends on the back, they loved that sucker. They loved it. They loved it. Any guy went after that guy's girlfriend. Number one, didn't have a chance. Number two, he would have been in big trouble, right? He would have been in
Yes, number one and number two. Fucking hell.
trouble, but they were great. The Bikers for Trump, we love them. And they
Where
are
was
tremendous people. You know, they're really patriots. They love our country. The Biden energy crisis and the Ukraine crisis are glaring reminders that America cannot be strong abroad if we are not first strong at home. And we are not strong at home. It's
Well,
time
no, you're not. You're not, obviously. I mean, can't even drive a car, much less ride a motorcycle.
to stop the bloodshed in our own cities. Look at what's going on in Chicago and New York and Los Angeles and Portland. I mean, Portland, they've taken over the place, the whole,
Yeah, it's on fire right now. Literally, if we went to one of the street cameras right now, you can't see it for the smoke. Portland's, there's just a giant crater where it used to be.
ridiculous what's going on in Portland, but many other.
Well, that's true. By the way, that's always true of Portland. It's always ridiculous. If you watch Portlandia, you'll know that's true.
All Democrat-run cities, all of them,
Yeah, the big ones that make all the money. Yeah, that's true. That's where all the tax dollars come from. It's also where all the stores are. It's also where the businesses are. Yeah.
you see
Well, Democrat-run cities, lots of subways as well, and L trains, and it must be a Democratic thing.
some of these stats in Chicago where 8 people were shot this weekend and 4 died. And many more than that, and many worse stats than that.
Yeah, I mean, that's terrible when you go to the big stat and you're picking the lowest.
It's time to defend our own borders. And I'll tell you one thing, Henry
Yes, our own borders in Chicago.
McMaster, he doesn't have 8 people shot and people dying every weekend.
No, yeah, I mean, you'd have to shoot a long way. It's a big open state. It's a lot of meth and fentanyl wiping people out. But bring that up.
It's time to protect our own sovereignty. It's time to secure our own elections. It's time to, by the way,
Uh-oh.
It took me 2.5 years to get through all of the litigation and lawsuits on the border wall, and I won. I won 11 cases, and we won other.
Yes, you seized private land and split it up. You're the first president since the war of the Mexican-American War to give American territory to Mexico.
We had it done. 3 weeks away from finishing it, then we...
Yeah, and I mean, you know, a wall does not work until you put the corners on, till you get the, what's it, the trim along the bottom with the little kick stop.
Had the election result that everybody, or most people know, was a fake result, just like a fake news. And 3 weeks... But we did a tremendous job with the border wall, and it can be finished immediately. And that's when I knew that they actually wanted open borders, when they didn't want to go that extra 3 weeks to finish the wall. No, but it had a tremendous impact. We had the safest border in the history of our country one year ago, and today we have the worst border in the history of our country. So it's time to save our own nation.
1 year ago, Biden had been president for 2 months already.
From the people who are trying to destroy it. Under Biden, Pelosi, and the radical Democrats, we're losing our country.
Those Democrats are the worst.
Different than if we had lost it in a war. If we had lost it in a war. You know, we have hundreds of thousands of people dying to drugs that come over the southern border now. We did a tremendous job on the southern border. We had the best numbers we've ever had, and we've had...
Yeah, the most fentanyl and opioid deaths in history under your watch, by the way. The first time we hit 100,000 was when you were president. A month and a half of that fell under Biden.
The best drug numbers. We stopped drugs at a level that...
I don't know. We'd have to talk to Don Jr. about that.
Nobody had ever seen before. And now they're coming in at a level that nobody has ever seen. When you have open borders, nobody's ever seen anything like it before. Millions of illegal aliens are rushing across our borders from all over the world.
Yes, with Chinese ballots under one arm and a bale of fentanyl and weed under the left.
Gang members, drug traffickers, human smugglers, and people on...
And toddlers, they're the worst.
Terrorist watch list are stampeding right into our country. The Biden administration has spent months and months obsessing over how to stop an invasion of a foreign country. I believe Americans deserve a president who will stop the invasion into our country.
That's right. We need tanks on the border firing into Mexico right now. It's an invasion. That's what that word means. So, I mean, what are you gonna do? Some old lady, some abuela, or some mom and her 2 kids or whatever, you're gonna let them cross the border without, I mean, at least make them run through some bombs, you know, so that you know they're serious about coming here, right? What the fuck?
And for all the talk about violent conflict in Eastern Europe, and it's a terrible thing, and we're going to help, and we're going to do whatever we can, because nobody can look.
Yeah, he's going to ask everybody at the end of this to grab their shit, and they're all going to get on a bus and fly over in his brand new plane that the Save America PAC paid for, and they're going to go fight in Ukraine. Do everything they can. That includes everything.
The bloodshed much longer. What's happening? It's a lack of respect for a lot of people, a lot of things, but it's just a...
Yeah, it's a lack of respect. That's what causes the war. It's just a lack of respect. You know what? I'm not too proud to say it. Putin's a ne'er-do-well. He's a hooligan.
A lack of respect. And it happens to be a man that is just driven. He's driven to put it together. And you look at it, and it's just so ridiculous and so senseless and so horrible. And I say it again, and I'll say it again and again. It should have never happened. If he respected our president, it would have never, ever happened. But no one ever mentions the bloody and horrific war raging just across our border. They don't mention it, the drug war.
Yeah, you mean Mexico's problems? Like they're ours, because they aren't?
Have killed hundreds of thousands of people throughout Latin America and hundreds of thousands of people in our country. massacring innocent people, murdering judges and journalists, torturing and slaughtering hostages, and burying victims in mass graves. Mass graves. Now Joe Biden has thrown the gate.
This is just, I mean, why are we even in Ukraine? When we've got, there's basically a nuclear war of drugs on the other side. Mass carrying people.
It's open to these murderous cartels and thugs and bloodthirsty criminal gangs to flood into our country. Every day, the radical Democrats.
All right, wait a minute. Are they flooding or are they stampeding? I just needed what kind of mental picture. I understand they're masquerading as, no, they're putting on mascara and they're coming, I don't know.
Open border policies are getting innocent Americans killed. We have Brandon Judd here. He's an incredible guy. And Tom Homan, who's an incredible. Tom Homan is central casting. That's the kind of guy they don't want to see. They don't want to see Brandon Judd. Where's Brandon Judd? What a job he does. Head of Border Patrol.
Yeah. Head of Border Patrol for South Carolina. Excuse me. These Sacha Inchi nuts are very dry, I'm just saying. But they're supposedly good for you. If I choke to death, that's why.
Job you do. And your people at ICE are incredible. These are brilliant, brave patriots. I wouldn't want their job, Brandon. I wouldn't want your job. You know, ICE will go into a pack. MS-13, probably the worst gangs are MS-13, but ICE will go up to...
Of all the MS-13s, MS-13 is the worst.
They break into our country.
Thanks, Al.
And they'll charge them. They kill people. They like using knives rather than guns because it's more painful. They actually use knives.
It's quieter, too, because a lot of them have, sensitive ears. That's the one thing about MS-13, loud noises.
Cut people up because it's more painful. ICE goes in there, then they just...
Yes, being cut up is far more painful than being shot. I mean, that you just walk it off.
Attack them, and they take them away, and they bring them out. They dump them the hell out of our country. And the other countries from where they came, they now take them. They didn't used to take them. I said, why aren't they taking them? They said, sir, they just won't take them back. They don't want them to take them back. I said, how much money does the United States give to those countries? And they said, sir, about $742 million. Okay, stop it. As of now, we give them no money. The next day, I got a call from the president of those countries. Sir, we'd love to have our members of MS-13 back in our country.
That's, by the way, that's a lie, just for the record. I mean, it's a ridiculous one, and he tells it all the time. And you can tell he starts it with sir, but honestly, he has used this lie over and over.
2 minutes, but this was going on for years. They wouldn't take them back. Now they take them back, but I think that's going to be lost probably. Probably by now, Brandon, that's gone down the tubes just like everything else has gone down the tubes.
The tubes. Just
last month, an illegal alien criminal was arrested in California. Good old
California. I know that state very well.
California for horribly assaulting an officer. But under California's deadly sanctuary state law, the vicious criminal was released back into the community. Just 5 days later, he walked into a church and savagely murdered his 9, 10, and 13-year-old daughters and other people that happened to be in the church.
That guy wasn't an illegal immigrant. What the fuck are you talking about?
We have dozens of countries emptying out their prisons into America. We're like a dumping ground for prisoners. And
I can tell by the people behind you.
Be living with this for many years to come. Remember what I said, including those flights from out of Afghanistan where people bum rushed the plane. And 97% of those people should not have been brought into our country. We're going to be paying a
those people weren't flown into the country.
Big price from what we took out and from the people that pour into our country for many years to come. You watch. I made a lot of good predictions, and now saying Trump was right. I was right on the border. I was right on the pipeline. I was right on Germany. I said to Angela Merkel,
God, fuck, we're going to do the fucking surrender flag story now?
I'm sending you the white flag. She said, but why are you...
He held up a napkin at one of the gatherings and said this. He even said he did.
Sending me the white flag. I said, it's called the flag of surrender because you're getting your energy from Russia and it's not good. Now, nobody knew it would happen this quickly, but who would have thought? To think that I shut the pipeline down and they opened it up immediately, it's just unthinkable. The open border left has turned our country into one giant sanctuary for dangerous criminal aliens. In the Republican Party, we believe that every inch of our country should be a sanctuary for law-abiding Americans, not for criminals.
Okay, cool. So are we ejecting anybody who's guilty of a crime out to sea? What are we doing? Are we pulling in Australia? Where's our prison colony?
If you want chaos, if you want crime, if you want carnage, you must immediately vote for radical Democrats because they will give it to you. That's what they're doing. Look at every city that's run by the Democrats. If you want...
Yeah, I have. That's where all the coffee shops are.
Safety, security, and strength, vote for America First Republicans this November. But before we can defeat the Democrats, socialists, and communists at the ballot box this fall,
Rhinos?
We first have to defeat the rhinos and grandstanders in the primaries earlier this year. The rhinos, those rhinos are no good. I don't know, in many ways they're as bad as the Democrats and sometimes worse. We got plenty of rhinos in the party, but I must say far fewer than we had 4 or 5 years ago. Unfortunately for the patriots...
Well, you lost your job, I think, so technically conservatives are saying you're a phony conservative and you're no longer in... No? All right.
Of South Carolina, you currently have 2 atrocious rhinos. They're bad people in the House who went to Washington, sold you out, and partnered with the Democrats to stab the Republican Party and, frankly, to stab our country in the back. Right here in the 7th Congressional District, Tom Rice, a disaster.
Yeah. Yes, please. Replace him with a lunatic, because he'll definitely win in the general.
He's respected by no one. He's laughed at in Washington. He was never thought highly of.
He still has his job.
In Washington. And he was just censured by your great South Carolina GOP. Tom Rice joined the Democrats' deranged impeachment witch hunt hoax. It's all turned out to be a hoax. It's all turned out now to be a hoax. He parroted their lies. He gave aid and comfort to their weaponization of the national security state against the domestic political opponents. He voted for the unselect committee of highly partisan politicians that...
Well, that's because McCarthy wouldn't let other people serve. Oh, never mind.
Running this horrible witch hunt in Washington. It's a witch hunt like nobody's ever seen before. But for me...
Oh, so the other witch hunts weren't this bad? Okay, good to know.
It's okay because it's just a continuation of the fake witch hunt that's gone on for 4 years.
Yeah, it's a continuation that no one's ever seen, but they've never seen anybody continue something like this has been continued before.
Now Tom Rice looks like a total fool. He said, I didn't know when I voted to impeach President Trump. I was committing political suicide. And you know, that's exactly what happened, and hopefully it'll be true. In the 1st Congressional District, you have another horrendous rhino known as Crazy Nancy Mace. 2 years ago... Did they call her Crazy Nancy Mace in her district, or did you make up that really cool name? Or you just, every time somebody says Nancy, you have to add crazy to it? She begged for my endorsement, and I pledged, and she pledged to be...
Everybody pledged. We pledged allegiance. It pledged.
America first all the way. She's going to be, I'm going to be America first. Instead, the first thing Nancy Mace did when she got to Washington was start attacking
her job.
Republicans and hold a fundraiser for wacky Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney.
Liz Cheney is a Republican.
Liz Cheney, who's polling now at 12% in the great state of Wyoming, which was actually my #1 state. Does anyone know that? I got number one state was Wyoming in terms of the vote. Hate to tell you.
You mean because they had less than 1 million people? How many fucking people are in Wyoming? I'm going to have to check this now. It's going to annoy me. I know. We don't need to slow this down anymore. Than it's already slow enough for all of us. But let's see. Wyoming. Whoops. Is that right? Okay. Sorry. Wake up. Keyboard. There you go. Pop. Yeah. Wyoming, with a whopping 578,000 people in it, less than 1/6 the population of Los Angeles, and 2 senators.
South Carolina, but I did damn well with you too. And Alabama. You know, it's sort of interesting. We won South Carolina in a record. We won Alabama in a record. But we lost Georgia just by a whisker. Doesn't happen that way.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Doesn't happen. When you win Alabama, Henry, and when you win South Carolina, Henry, you win Georgia by a lot also, Henry.
No, you don't, Henry. Who the fuck is he talking to?
Cheney joined the phony narrative about January 6th. She voted to hold Steve Bannon in contempt, which was terrible. She's totally manipulated by raging never-Trumpers and the radical left Democrats that are poisoning our country. She's a terrible person, and she has no idea what she's doing, Nancy Mace. Right after hearing I was going to endorse a really wonderful person, a different candidate,
Who gives a shit, really?
she went to New York and stood in front of the magnificent Trump Tower. Has anyone ever heard of Trump Tower?
Yeah, it's a dump. It smells funny. Everybody tells me when they walk by, when the door comes open for the lobby, it's a really strange mix of smells. So like sewage and smoke and BO and something else, and taco bowls and that are quite frankly not authentic. I'm just saying. Yeah, she went and stood out in front of that to try and get really, because she actually is a Trumper, but she's not Trumpy enough.
And did a commercial insinuating that I was endorsing her. She's standing over in front of Trump Tower in New York. I'm saying, can you believe this? It was
yes. Who would grift a grifter?
Untruthful, just like everything else she does. Thankfully, this June you have the chance to dump these grandstanding losers and replace them with 2 rock-solid America First champions. Russell Fry. Russell, where's Russell? Russell Fry.
Fi or Fry. Fi. Just call him Fi. Fee-fi, fo-fum. They're all running.
Katie Arrington, where are you? Come on up. Come up. Russell is a conservative warrior who will give no quarter to the socialist left. Likewise, Katie Arrington is a fighter for the people of South Carolina.
And half the people that are at this thing aren't from South Carolina.
And you know, a few years ago, she beat Mr. Argentina. Do you know who that is? He liked that Argentina dancer. Remember? You remember that? Mr. Argentina. But Katie, she went through a lot because she ran a fantastic race, and she was horribly, horribly injured in an automobile accident, and she never had the chance to campaign, and it was just incredible because she was incredible, but she was so badly injured, and now she's 100%. But that was a tough time, yeah. That was a tough period of time, but she's been fantastic, and she's been loyal, and she loves the people of South Carolina, the people of our country. They will be tough on crime, strong on borders, strong on election integrity, and they
don't have a border. You're in South Carolina.
Support our military and our vets, and they will never appease the fake news or the radical left.
All right.
So I want to ask everybody.
Everybody check that off their list.
In this incredible state, I love this state. I want them to have the same kind of vote that you gave me to get out and vote for Russell Fry and Katie Arrington in the primary on June 14th, which is my birthday. That's my birthday. That's Flag Day, so that's a big day. So I know you spoke before, but why don't
Yes, it's nice that he gets to hump a flag on his own birthday.
you just say
That's
two
what he
words
wanted.
and we'll then get the hell out of here because it's cold. Go ahead. Please, go ahead. Thank you very much.
It's like I said earlier.
Oh, great. So you've already spoken?
On June 14th, it's our turn to vote. And on June 14th, here in the 7th Congressional District, we're going to vote to impeach Tom Rice at the ballot box.
Well, that's not how it works. You just try to beat him in the primary. You don't impeach him. Impeaching actually has meaning. But it's nice to know that you can just reuse words however you want. Dum-dum.
Please, good.
Can I bring my stool?
Yes, you can. Sure. Please.
I always have to bring my stool. So, you know.
Yeah, so does Trump. That's why he wears a diaper, so he can carry it around with him and keep it close. Keep your friends close and your stool closer, he always says.
I have a name for Nancy Mace. I call her Liz Cheney of the South. You like that? It's all for you, big guy. It's true, it's true.
Yes, sure. It's okay, sure.
Everybody, I think we all deserve to give this gentleman behind me, DJT, one hell of a round of applause.
Gee, I wonder how she got the endorsement.
Sir? The reason
Oh, look, we're witnessing a real Sir story.
they're screaming your name is you're the best damn president this country's ever had. Period. End of story.
Period, end of story. George Washington, loser. Lincoln, pfft, come on.
Nobody gets it any better.
Eisenhower.
Be our number
Nobody.
47. You were.
Don't let it worry you that Jimmy Carter created more jobs than you did, sir. No, sir.
46, BR 47. That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love you. Thank you.
I love you, she says.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, there's a mix of things. I think it's USA, lock him up, build the wall, and we want pumpkin, I think is what I'm making out. It became we love Trump. And there's some we want Trumps in there, but it's working out, yeah.
Thank you very much. In 2020, 120 of the 122 candidates that I endorsed in congressional primary elections won their election. And now we think we're going to be it's going to be incredible. You know, last week in Texas, 33 endorsements. We won 33 races. There are a couple of primaries. There are a couple of continuing primaries.
You know what? I've decided not to run. I'm just going to be a kingmaker, and if you don't let me do that, I'm going to give out all the tapes from the RNC hack.
But they're going to win. They're way ahead. They're going to win. So we view it as 33 out of 33, and I just got a 98% approval rating in the Republican Party. That's pretty good.
You just did? No, you didn't. Fucking 40% of people don't want you to run again.
So we got to get out and vote for those two. We got to put Nancy Mace and we got to put Tom Rice back where they came from. We're also joined by
You mean in South Carolina?
the great Republican leaders tonight, including your incredible governor and my friend. He was so loyal to me. I said, boy, this guy's incredible, and his unbelievable wife, Mr. and Mrs. Henry McMaster, Governor McMaster. Congratulations, Henry. Thank you. Thank you both. Thank you for being here in this freezing cold. Thank you, Peggy, very much. Great job. Boy, they became great friends. Remember, I had the lieutenant governor. Other people had the governor, and the lieutenant governor won. So thank you very much. We'll never forget it, Henry.
Yeah, no, we'll never forget it. What?
Also with us are Lieutenant Governor Pamela Yvette. Thank you. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you very much. Attorney General Alan Wilson. Great family. Alan.
Great. Nice jeans, whatever. Anyways, I don't care. We're skipping ahead.
We have no choice. The fate of any nation ultimately depends upon the willingness of its citizens to lay down, and they must do this.
They must lie down.
Lay down their very lives to defend their country. If we allow the Marxists and communists and socialists to teach our children to hate America, there will be no one left to defend our flag or to protect our great country or its freedom.
Yeah. Who's gonna hump the flag? If humping the flag is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Just days ago, a poll found that if our country was invaded like Ukraine was invaded, a majority of Democrats stunningly admitted that they would not fight for America. For the same reason.
The number of, by the way, the women, the male-female split in the country is almost identical to what it is in Ukraine, which is, I would take the children and escape.
We have to get political correctness out of our military. The woke
Yes. If you can't tell a racist joke in the shower, how are we ever going to fight a war?
Should be fired immediately. We want our generals to think about winning wars, not to teach pronouns. It's also far past time for big tech and to restore. Look at what big tech is doing, how dishonest they are.
Yes. And by the way, for the record, he's not including Truth Social because Truth Social by no measure is big tech. So
honest and corrupt. They are they are horrible for our country. We have to restore free speech in our country, and we will do it. Just days ago, Google and YouTube censored my podcast with the Nelk Boys after it was
Yes, I know. I was live when it happened.
Watched by millions and millions of people, a record by many times.
It wasn't a record. Yeah, dude, YouTube records are easy to spot. And that
in
ain't
just
one of
less
them.
than 24 hours, they took it down because I told the truth. These are sick people. We have to have in our country freedom of speech. We have.
You do. You just don't have the freedom to use anybody else's microphone or their platform.
To have freedom of speech. If we don't have
well, then post it on Truth Social and shut the fuck up.
Freedom of speech, we don't have a country any longer. And finally, at all costs,
oh God, the slurping.
We must defend the sacred integrity of our elections. Just last week.
Oh, we are. We're good. It's fine. It worked last time. It'll work again.
The special counsel investigating the 2020 election in Wisconsin, the state of Wisconsin, a highly respected former state Supreme Court justice, a great gentleman, announced that $8.8 million Mark Zuckerberg poured into local elections, quote, facially violates the Wisconsin law prohibiting election bribery. That's a pretty big charge. Be careful, Mark. The investigation revealed that 91 nursing homes, think of that, 91, thousands of people in 5 counties had voter turnout rates of almost 100%, even though many of them were very ill. Some were dying. Their families said.
Yes, their family said, I've talked to my mom and she wants to vote for Joe Biden, so I had her put in solitary. And then they let her vote. What the fuck?
My mother never voted. This was just a disgrace what took place in.
My mother never voted. Yes, they interviewed them. The woman was like, did you vote for Joe Biden? Yes, I did. No, she didn't. I told her all about Q and she's not listening.
Wisconsin, and it was a bombshell in Wisconsin. In addition to the explosive evidence.
Oh, by the way, you're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. This is a supplementary edition that it's like old time's sake, like going back and looking at a rally. And interestingly enough, it's like a needle drop in time. He's saying the same shit over and over again. And I want to thank all the trolls and maggots for coming out and expanding us in the algorithm. Yes, without you, we wouldn't reach nearly as far as we do because we just have people who want to see the show here, and that would include us in their algorithmic choices. And in this case, you help us spread it to other areas where it wouldn't go otherwise.
By True the Vote, showing a massive illegal ballot harvesting scheme in Georgia and other swing states, revealing thousands and thousands of ballot traffickers. They're known as mules. They go in, they carry ballots. Every day there is more.
Yes, and you know exactly where they are because you paid for them.
Overwhelming evidence that the 20.
By the way, if there is any voter fraud, every time they look, what do they find? More legal Biden votes, and they throw out Trump votes. Every time, without fail, happens every time. And the reason Trump knows where all the fraud is because he paid for it personally. Just making sure you know that there is no question that the reason he's like, yes, the fraud happened right over there. How do you know there were no cameras? I know because I made them send me a FaceTime video while they were committing the fraud, just because so I knew my money was well spent.
20 election,
Thanks,
and
Carol.
by the way, it's even beyond the standpoint of
Thank you,
evidence.
Tobias.
There is so much fact. It was corrupt.
Yes, it's beyond evidence. There's so much fact, and there are different things.
It was fraudulent and loaded up with irregularities. In other words, it was rigged.
You can't say loaded up with irregularities. People won't understand what that means. They'll think I need to use the
And
little boys'
twice. I won twice, and I did much better the second time than we did the first, getting 12.
It's amazing how if you let people vote, you actually get more votes.
Million more votes,
Good enough.
and now we may have to run again.
And listen to him. May. Oh, nice, Natalie. Hi. We may. He can legally say that and still take the money from the super PAC. By the way, if you're watching and you're a Trump supporter, please, please, please continue to give money to him. You shouldn't even be here. You should be at donaldjtrump.com, signing up, using PayPal or whatever, so it's a recurring donation.
At the federal, state, and local level, Republicans must act to ensure universal voter ID, citizenship confirmation, no more drop boxes, no more private money paying for so-called help with the elections, and we must ensure that every election...
He always knows specifically where the fraud supposedly was, and every time they look, he loses votes. I'm just saying, those things might be linked.
...be fully and quickly audited. The ultimate goal would be the same-day elections. Why can't we have same-day elections?
What the fuck does same-day elections? You mean one day of elections. He means election day. What the fuck do you mean same-day elections? Yes, the day you vote is the day you vote.
With mail-in ballots only for the military and vote for those people who are very ill and cannot vote in person. Same-day elections. You can't...
You mean like elderly people in old folks' homes? You mean like that?
...have elections where ballots are sittings around. They sit around...
Yes. Yeah, the ballots are sittings around. They sit around.
...storage areas for 20, 30, 40...
They're sitting around... They sit around storage areas.
...days, Henry, because lots of bad things are happening to them as security guards are not doing their job. Our election...
Yeah, I'm sorry. Are you going to file charges against some poor security guard someplace for allegedly dereliction of duty? Have fun.
...rigged, and we can never let this happen again, and we will continue to go forward, but we will also never, ever forget what happened, and we continue to look at this fraud, and things are happening on a daily basis like nobody would believe. It was a fraudulent...
Yes, no one would believe it, because no one is that dumb.
...election, and the proof is beyond anybody's wildest expectation. We are...
Well, no. If the proof was beyond anyone's wildest expectations, you would have already been back in office.
Just 8 months away from what could be the most important midterm election in American history. Our country is at
in American history.
and we need a landslide so big that the radical Democrats cannot rig or steal the election. Very much like the landslide we had. Nice swing you have. He's going, are you a golfer? What's your handicap? Huh? That's a nice looking swing. I'm proud of you.
I'm sorry, what now?
Very much like the landslide that we had in your state, in South Carolina, very much. So to every patriot here today, I ask you to get ready to work, get ready to fight, get ready to win, and we're going to win like never before.
You really have never won before. You got the Electoral College in 2016, but you lost the popular vote. So, and then you lost both the next time. So you haven't been winning in a long time.
We're going to win like never before.
Oh, I see. What would be a lot of people win by actually winning. We're going to win by continuing to lose. It's brilliant.
This is the year we are going to take back the House. We are going to take back the Senate. And we are going to take back America. And in 2024, we are going to take back that beautiful, beautiful White House.
The big we, as in these people and around. I'm not saying me.
I wonder who will do that. I wonder. Together with your help, we will fight for
DeSantis actually is doing better than you in the straw poll, just saying.
more jobs for American families, fair trade for American workers, and more South Carolina factories forging more products stamped with that beautiful phrase, made in the USA.
Right. Oh, you mean the one that you undermined through executive orders, lowering the standards for that so that your daughter's stuff could come in from China. Okay.
We will shut down Joe Biden's border disaster. We will again end catch and release. We will...
Well, what? We'll again end catch and release.
End chain migration, and we will end visa lottery. And we will get that wall finished so fast your head will spin. We will hold...
Yes. If you become president again and you finish the wall, I think a lot of people's heads will spin because they'll have to, because time travel will be possible and we will have split into a multiverse of ridiculousness.
China accountable for unleashing the virus and charge them trillions of dollars for the damage and suffering they have caused. We will...
Yes, it's going to be a fine of some sort.
Stop the Biden crime wave in our Democrat-run cities. We will crack down on violent criminals, and we will give our police officers, our law enforcement, we love them,
your police officers?
100% support.
Absolutely. And by that he means have his supporters beat the shit out of them if they're between them and their goal. So
we're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
Mm-hmm.
We will pass critical reforms, making every executive branch employee fireable by the President of the United States. The deep state must...
Yes, we want a supreme executive, straight up Karl Rove bullshit from the
and
Bush
will be brought to heel. It's already happening. We will...
Brought to heel. The deep state will be brought. Okay. What Tucker Carlson calls permanent Washington, and what everybody else calls people doing their fucking job.
Protect innocent life. We will defend our Constitution, and we will defend the Second Amendment. We will proudly uphold the Judeo-Christian values and principles of our
upheld
nation's founding. We will restore patriotic education to our schools. We will teach our children to love their country, honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag.
Oh, good. So you're going to teach children not to rub their dick on it, I hope. In case at some point in the future you actually... Couldn't that be added to the flag curriculum? Asking on behalf of my fellow Americans, can it be against the rules for some creep to mash on it like it's a third date and you thought you were going to get some? Can we do that?
And in conclusion, our MAGA movement
Thank you.
is by far the greatest.
Excuse me, and it's not MAGA, it's Make America Great over and over.
Magoo.
All right.
Political movement in the history of our country. Together, we are standing up against some of the most sinister forces.
By the way, the civil rights marches and stuff like that, petty. The abolitionist movement that created the Fighting North that won the Civil War.
Entrenched interests and vicious opponents our people have ever seen. But no matter
Well, I mean, Hitler. I mean, to be fair.
how big or powerful these corrupt radicals may be, you must never forget this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you.
Well, I mean, we're talking about other Americans, so.
This is your home. This is your heritage. And our American liberty is your God-given right. It was patriots like you who built this country, and it's patriots like you who are going to save our country.
That's right. If it wasn't for you, no one would be driving in circles around Washington, D.C., burning fuel while it's expensive to protest things that aren't actually happening.
A very, very critical time. Our country has never been in trouble like it is right now.
9/11, AIDS crisis, crack. I mean,
In a little more than a year, they have gone on to almost destroy our country. But the key word is almost.
yeah, almost. It's like horseshoes and hand grenades.
We're not going to let it happen. And to get
Yeah, it's really easy for you to not let it happen. Just don't do anything. We're fine. The adult shit is happening. We all understand it. Piss off.
we will make a more exceptional country than ever before. There is
Yes, it'll be more American exceptionalism, but like more American exceptional, even to the exceptionalism of America that was exceptional.
mountain we cannot climb. There is no summit we cannot reach. There is no challenge we cannot meet. There is no victory we cannot have because
There is no chocolate cake we cannot eat. There is no flag we cannot fondle. There is no pussy we cannot grab.
just
There
like
is no
generations
tax we
before
cannot
us,
dodge.
American
There is no charity we cannot cheat.
faith is lifting our souls. American pride is beating our hearts, and pure, unflinching courage.
No, American pride would be beating in our hearts. American pride is not, for the record, is not beating our hearts. I'm just saying, for the record, I don't feel attacked by American pride. I'm just
Is coursing through our.
Oh shit! Did they yank this one too while it was live? Is this gonna happen every fucking time? That's hilarious. Watch. I'm gonna reload the page. And yep, there it is. Oh shit, removed by the uploader. Okay, so this one already happened. They didn't want it to get hit, so hang out. I mean, ultimately, that's his bye-bye, so it's okay. And we'll go back to here. No, and then, so, I mean, he just says, make America great again.
Right before he takes the stage here in Florence, South.
By the way, so this is, we'll finish off with this, because he doesn't say anything extra on this. It's just stupid. This is, Trump did an interview with RSBN. Whoops, I still got my Phil name on there. Hold on 1 second. RSBN did an interview with him right before he went on stage. And this is how you can tell he was going to be all slurry like he was. Watch this. This is a good time. And this is the outfit, by the way, that the girl said it meant he was a snazzy dresser. 3 minutes, 29 seconds for this interview, and they had to cut it to post it. And here it is.
Carolina. Now, Mr. President, I have spent hours walking the grounds here at your rally. The American people are angry. They're angry with what's going on in our country, and they're...
Well, not so much the American people as those American people. Just saying. Not the. I'm actually pretty happy right now. I'm doing all right. I mean, we have, work to do, I think, as we always do. We're always trying to make our country better. We're always trying to improve on it. We're not resting on our laurels, giving it that old college try, pushing ahead in America. Come on. But I felt like Jimmy Stewart just then. Well, we got a dream ahead of us. Yeah. We're all going to dream together. Yeah.
Question is the damage that Biden has done so far, is it reversible? Is it?
Well, clearly not. I mean, we're doomed. America sucks. I mean, catch up, dude. America sucked before Trump arrived, and it'll suck after he's gone. It's just the king and the land are one.
Can you possibly turn this ship around?
So it should have never happened. In a million years, this wouldn't have happened.
Well, that's a long time. I mean, anything can happen over a million years. I'm just saying Germany existed about, 600 years in its current form before Hitler showed up. I'm just saying a million years.
Putin just did what he wanted to do. He would not have done it with us. You understand that. Most people, they do polls on it. And this was something that was...
They do polls on it.
...going to happen, or it would have happened in 4 years. 4 years.
By the way, the polls are helping us, for the record. They're giving supplies and taking in refugees. Thank you, Poland.
I think, a lot of people are saying, how come this didn't take place during the 4 years that Trump was there? And you can say...
And you can go, well, nobody attacks their birthday cake is why.
The same thing with China, because that'll be next with Taiwan. It's a very sad situation. Not only that, it's I think what happened with Afghanistan and the way we withdrew. Not that we withdrew.
It's not only sad.
The way we withdrew, it looked like a surrender. Left $85 billion worth of equipment. Nobody understands what that means. $85 billion. It's like nobody can even imagine. But with
No, I can imagine anything. By the way, stop saying stuff is not imaginable, because I can imagine anything. Watch. Oh dear God. But it's bullshit. It's simply bullshit.
All of that with that kind of equipment, we left dead soldiers, just incredible, brave. 13, but we also had
64 soldiers died in Afghanistan and service people while he was president before he left office. Just saying. He only went to 4 of the dignified transfer of the 92.
Many that were horribly, horribly wounded, nobody mentions, and we left American citizens behind. I think that the Afghanistan move, the borders are horrible, inflation's horrible, it's all bad. But the Afghanistan move was the single most embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
Is you think that's because he made a deal with Putin to keep us in there because we were spending a bunch of money and it made us weaker? So you just do this whole, we'll keep this base here and we'll just pour money into the desert?
And you look at the middle class, the lower class, they are basically...
Yes, the lower class. Yeah, that's how you put it. The lower class.
Struggling with fuel prices and gasoline. That needs to be reversed as well.
Yeah, well, it's gasoline. We were at $1.87, and now
when no one was going anywhere.
Or even like in the Midwest, it's at $5, okay? We always used California as a guide because they seem to be higher. Now they're almost up to $8. It's not even think.
By the way, there was a station in California in 2019 while Trump was president that was selling gas for $11.56.
Well, and we're going and negotiating. They want to negotiate with Venezuela and Iran. Can you imagine? And OPEC. But
well, there are 6 Citgo employees that are actually being held in prison in Venezuela, and that's partly what they're trying to negotiate for.
Venezuela and Iran. It's not even thinkable. It's not even believable. It's almost like...
Yeah, it's almost like you're not president anymore. and all the shit you just didn't want to do is getting done.
You know, where are we living? This is not the world of reality. Here we are, we're fighting Venezuela,
We're fighting Venezuela? Sorry, what?
Where are we living? This is not the world of reality. Here we are, we're fighting Venezuela, fighting Iran, and this guy wants to go and make a deal. And the one place he doesn't want to take it is...
Wait, by the way, we're not fighting either of those places.
Under our feet. Now, it's going to be used in our country, so why wouldn't we take it, right?
Hi, CSL.
But it's they just don't know what they're doing.
Final question, Mr. President. Our viewers want to know.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of time, you know, because he's got to go slurp in front of a bunch of people.
How's the family? How's Melania? How's the family?
Oh, yeah. There you go. Yes, here's a question we all want to know. How's the family? How's Melania? Simple question. Saw her today. We were talking about something. She can't believe it. Her family was talking about it the other weekend. Oh my God, the gas prices. And then my son, Don Jr., you know, he's got a grandkid. He's a ragamuffin. And we all there, and like, obviously, you know, Christmas is tough because they couldn't get everything they wanted, and I blame the Biden administration. It's unbelievable, and you can't believe what's happening today. But the family is good, and we're just tough as nails, and we're just good people. So that's the question. You know, an easy
Final question, Mr. President. Our viewers want to know. How's
Easy
the family?
question. Let's
How's
do it.
Melania? How's the family?
The family is great, and we love this country. But it's never been, I don't believe it's ever been so low as it is right now. And a year and a half ago, we had the strongest borders, the best economy. We had
Hey, dumb fuck. We're great. We love this country. But this, let me tell you.
everything was perfect. And now you look at it, we rebuilt our military, but they left $85 billion for the Taliban.
Yeah, the Taliban. That's like Cinnabon, except it'll kill you. Fucking hell. The family's great. We love America. But anyways, where was I? Fuck those people. I mean, I barely see them. Jesus Christ, the man has a young son. But you can't answer the... How's your wife? What the hell?
It's very embarrassing. We're no longer a
Wait a minute. Did you just say duh in actual conversation?
billion for the Taliban. But it's very embarrassing. We're no longer a respected country. We have leaders that are not respected. But we can turn it around and we'll make America great again. That's all I can tell you. We'll have to do it. And
that's all I can tell you when you ask me how my family is. Jesus Christ.
we have the midterms coming up, and then you have the big presidential election. The last one
Oh, your family has the midterms coming up? Good times.
rigged. We did better the second time than we did the first. We got 12.
The family did better the second time than they did the first. I'm sorry, I lost track of the question at this point.
Won it 3 times.
So we may have to do it again. So we're going to see what happens, but we love our country. We're going to
That's a no.
save our country.
God bless. President Trump, thanks for your time. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Again, that's bizarre. I don't get that. Like, yeah, it's like normal politicking, but even as a fucking human being, those people actually have eaten with him. These RSBN people, I mean, not at a nice place, but they've had fast food together. Yeah, so anyways, thanks for tuning in. We did it. And by the way, his stamina on this one's not as strong. I think it was the cold. Sign of weakness. What are you going to do? Wasn't able to do it. And slurry from the start, and then the video got pulled down. So, I mean, I think he's just, honestly, he's just tired of winning. And, he needs a nap. That's what you need. You just need a nap after something like that. You need a MyPillow. He went out to the MyPillow truck and just jumped in and just, relaxed a little bit because it was chilly. And, I mean, you can only say the same shit over and over and over before you get, I think, just exhausted from hearing yourself speak. Hold on, this is frozen in here. Now, and so, thanks for coming and joining me. Whoops, hold on. Oh, my God.
US President Joe Biden, he can't even focus.
There he is. No, he can't even. This is, why Sky News? Hold on. What in the world is that video? Okay, back up. Go here.
Right before he takes the stage.
that's the video for it. Now they had to have, I guess. Oh, look, the Midas Touch folks are on right now. Well, I'll let you go, and you guys can go. Is that on right now? Yeah.
Improvements over the last decade.
Yeah. Look at the lovely fellas over there at Midas Touch are chit-chatting. They're doing Legal AF
best
Live.
third-party.
Fantastic. So hop over there and go see them, and I'll let you guys go, and I'll get the hell out of your way, because we just needed to handle that. And I thought that was mercifully short, considering. I don't know that I can raid them, because they, let's see, because I do follow them on there, but they have this, I think they're just on Twitch when they run it. Maybe, hold on. But the Major's on right now. Hold on. You guys can, hold on. They've got to be in here somewhere, one would think. Hold on. Let me see. Range, whoops, wrong one. Sorry, my bad. Keyboard 2. Crazy pants. Beg your pardon. Oh, hold on. There they are. They're live. What's happening? Let's start a raid. That's what we're doing. We're raiding Midas Touch, everybody. And then I'll let you guys go there and give them my love. We'll do a big raid. If you're on Twitch, it'll send you automatically over there. And I will see you guys on Monday. Bye. Don't forget to throw an air raid message in there. Air raid. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Technically, it's not air raid because it's not the Major show. Look at that. Sending them some love. All right. And the rest of you guys, I will let you guys go, and I will see you Monday afternoon. There's no morning show on Monday because I will be traveling. I will be en route to Kentucky on Monday. And so I can't do a morning show. But I will do the afternoon / technically evening show there. And anyways, regardless, have a great Saturday night. Thanks for hanging with me today. Thank you guys for all the support and love and the super chats and just being here. Super great. And thank you, trolls, for showing up and trying desperately to pretend that Trump has some brain cells left and that he actually ever had a plan. It's got to be tiring for you. I know it hurts you that even before COVID, he was going to leave office with fewer jobs created than Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter creating twice as many jobs as you in one term, also another one-term president. And then it got worse from there. It was literally negative by the time he left. Ouch. That's got to suck. But hey, we were always 2 weeks away from his healthcare plan, 2 weeks away from his taxes, 2 weeks away from finishing the wall, 2 weeks away from a fucking Iran deal. I mean, if only, I recommend using some of that American ingenuity that you guys like to pretend you have while you're pretending to give a shit about this country, while those of us that really love the place slog on and do the heavy lifting of actually being in a democracy. Maybe try and build a time machine out of spare parts and an insulin pump, and then go back in time and maybe truncate that short, like the quantum tunnel in Avengers. Maybe you do that. Yeah. Just tighten that up, and then go over to and watch Russell Brand, Jimmy Dore, and Glenn Greenwald, and the remnants of RT that are now floating around Rumble. I think they're all on Rumble now. And pretend that they'll teach you colloquial American, so you'll sound like you're not a Russian anymore. Good luck. And to everybody else, love you. Take care, and I will see you on Monday. Bye-bye.